I had a piano. I had a small like kid's laptop or something, and I did not touch anything. This was the only gift I was playing around for almost 1 or 2 hours. That's why my parents must have noticed that okay, this guy has something for vehicles, for automobile, and this I think was the first hint towards the fact that my life is going to turn out in a way that I'll do something in automotive. And this is the first step towards becoming an entrepreneur. That is having having a spark for something. This spark, this attraction towards a hobby, towards an item, towards a dream, it is within you from the childhood. It is just that you need to find it. A few years down the line, my parents would have thought that okay, this fad, this appreciation of two-wheelers or four-wheelers might fade away, but nah. I was 4 years old and we were going from a park, and I had to beg and stop my parents to stop the car, get out of the car, buy tickets to this ride, and then let me play with that ride because it had a very beautiful car on it. This this was my this was my exploration era. After you have had that spark inside you, after you have had that initial kick inside you, you start exploring your hobby. You start exploring that do you really like that what you're attracted to. And in this phase, I explored a lot of things. I have a very vague memory of my father owning a bike, and it was a blue color, very beautiful bike. And whenever he used to go out, I used to be very angry because I wanted before he would go for his work. So I would stop him, take a 2 minutes ride, and then only I would let him go. So this phase of life where I explored everything, where I understood that I really like this hobby, is one of the memorable part. The third part, this is a photo from my college era where I was not at all interested in biology as a subject. During this era, during this phase, I was not sure that what exactly has to be the path I had, so I took all the streams in the college. I took biology, I took chemistry, I took physics also. And during the biology class, this is all I used to do. Play with everything, play with all the skeletons, play with all the insects, all the samples kept around. And I used to never have the fun in that. And that's when I realized, okay, this is not for me. I need to stick to physics. And while doing all of this, I was not really sure why I'm taking these decisions. Why am I like being what I am being like? And that's when I explored one of the most important habits or one of the most important traits of myself. That is, if I want something, I'll do anything to get it. If I want something, I'll cry, I'll fight, I'll beg for it. But if I want it, I want it. This is a photo my parents took of me when I was around 5 years old, and I wanted something. For them, it was just a photo of me crying, but this is a photo of me from my memory where I did not let go of what I want and I was crying for it. So, not letting go and actually willing to fight for what you want, that is one of the traits, one of the criteria that I realized I have early on. Next, please. How many of you know what this is? It's a robotic spider. Yeah. So, when I was in the first year of my college, I really did not have a good idea of what exactly mechanical engineering would take me to. So, I had a few friends around, and me, along with my friends, started on a journey to build a robot for ourselves. Our college was extremely happy with our decision because something interesting was going to happen in the college. And not knowing anything, the first thing that I tried was the first thing that I go to my college professors and ask them how to start, like where to start from. Sadly enough, they had no idea. So I went to my industry mentors. Sadly, they also did not have any idea. Then I went to my peers, my seniors. Even they did not have any idea of how to and where to start from. And this was the first stage in my life when I understood that when there is something in the market which is missing, that is called as an opportunity. There is a space, there is a market where people want to make such robots, but they are not getting the right resources, the right mentorship, the right type of teachings of how to do it. And this is where I started my first experiment. I learned how to make this robot from YouTube. I made around 5 to 10 kits and sold them for 5,000 rupees each. This was the first ever business I did. And I did not end up turning any profit on it because I did not have that much skills of how to sell it, market it, how to rightly price it. But this was the first time I actually did a business, and that's where I got the taste of it. How many of you have seen F1? Formula 1 देखते हो? Yes, movie or F1 in general. Yeah. So, what is the most thrilling part of it? The cars, the speed, the thrill, the risk. All of these things were very interesting. And being an engineer, I wanted to experience all of this. So, in the fourth year of my college, we took part in a competition where we were able to make these cars and race them on Buddha International Circuit, the only F1 circuit in India that actually has had an F1 race on it. So, this is where we got to understand how to apply the knowledge that we have built, how to apply the knowledge that we have gathered and make something out of it. During that time, I also learned 3D printing. How many of you know about 3D printing? Yes. So quite a few. Do you have that in your curriculum right now? Okay. So you do have that in your curriculum. I'm very happy about it. So I learned about 3D printing. 3D printing is a very interesting thing. Like you can imagine something, like imagine a pineapple. If you have a 3D model of it, you can make it on this machine. So this 3D printing machine was in existence, and I had access to a 3D printing machine through one of my friends. So what I found out was in the market, uh, when there are big companies, those big companies design a part, like they design a mouse, they design a laptop, they design a PC, and most of the companies in a small city, they, without even testing how that design will turn out, start manufacturing it. And after they start manufacturing, they find out कि अरे इसमें तो कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया. So most of the time, like imagine your mom is making some sabji and she tastes it after it is finished. पूरा होने के बाद ही taste करते हैं, then it is very hard to fix if something is going wrong. So that type of thing was going on. So I understood कि अगर मैं ये 3D printing machine लेता हूँ, लोग जो बना रहे हैं, before making that I gave them a sample of it, a prototype of it, making this 3D printing machine, then I'll be able to turn a profit. So I started this business. I uh, I had somewhere around 20 to 25 clients in around 4 months. I was able to make 4 lakh. But sadly, because there was no scale, because this idea was not unique, because this idea was not like कोई और नहीं कर रहा है, was not the case. I had to shut it down and move forward. And I took my first job right after engineering. Uh, how many of you have seen poultry farms? You have seen how those chickens are raised? ऐसा एक बान होता है जिसमें like मुर्गियाँ छोड़ दी है, those chickens are running around and someone has to go around and catch them, find the eggs, कहाँ पर डाले, then sell it, right? So what I used to work on is not this, but next slide please. A fully automatic poultry farm. The company where I used to work, वो क्या करते थे? वो एक पूरा ऑटोमेटिक फार्म बनाते थे जिसमें अंडा व्हेन इट कम्स आउट ऑफ द चिकन इट यूज टू गेट पिक्ड, इट यूज टू गेट पैक्ड, पैलेट, पूरा ऐसा बक्सा बना के ऑफ 200-300 एग्स उसका पैकिंग करके डायरेक्टली निकलता था, ऑल ऑटोमेटिक, नो ह्यूमंस इन्वॉल्व. दैट इज व्हाट दैट कंपनी यूज टू डू. आई गॉट अ जॉब इन दिस टाइप ऑफ कंपनी एंड दिस इज वेयर वी लर्न कि भाई मार्केट में सोल्यूशन ऐसा चाहिए, पीपल नीड सच टाइप ऑफ सोल्यूशन where you don't just have a like machine to sell, or you don't just have a product to sell. They actually need it. Then I did my second startup in electronics. This was after I quit my job. The second startup was nothing short of a roller coaster ride. I was managing everything alone. I was trying to gather clients. I was trying to make a lot of efforts. But because I was just one person, a single person show, one man show, I could never scale it. This is where I learned the importance of having a very good team. I had already built two startups. I've already failed at both of them. First startup failed because there was no scale. Second startup failed because I was not having the right team, right amount of efforts were being put in. And that's when I learned कि चलो यार अब ये बंद करते हैं. Now I need to start something big and now I need to have proper team. So I, Pushkaraj, met my first co-founder Pritesh through a friend's sister's friend's brother's friend. So I met my first co-founder purely out of luck. There was no chance I would have met him otherwise. And then we started discussing कि market में क्या करना चाहिए. We both like cars, we both like bikes, and the idea of making electric dirt bike was very interesting to us. So we started discussing the same कि चलो dirt bike कैसे बनाएंगे. One fine day when we were discussing about the same, we were having a fight कि ये करना है, वो करना है, ये नहीं करना है, वो नहीं करना है. One of our close friends visited us and he said कि you both, Pushkaraj can handle technology, Pritesh can handle business, you need someone who can handle operations also. So from there, we met our third co-founder, Jayesh. And that's how the journey started of REVAMP MOTO. And then we started asking the right question, ki what does market need? Like, how many of you have a habit of asking a lot of questions? All of you? Teacher पूछते हैं क्या ये questions? Yep. आपको परेशान करते हैं? And then do you answer those questions or do you shout at them? You generally answer them. Nice. So I am really happy with the kids जो बहुत सारे questions पूछते हैं. The reason is when you ask the first why, you never get the core problem. मतलब आप पहले question पे आपको right answer कभी नहीं मिलता. You have to keep asking questions, keep asking so many questions that at the end of the day you will land up at the right problem. So for us, the question was electric vehicle किसको चाहिए? Who exactly needs EVs the most? We asked these questions to ourselves and I'm like कि कॉलेज जाने के लिए EV चाहिए किसी को? No, उनके लिए बहुत सारे लोग बहुत सारी गाड़ियां बना रहे हैं, बहुत सारे व्हीकल्स है जो ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्ट करते हैं. देन क्या फिर किसी को स्कूल में जाने के लिए, स्कूल में आने के लिए, या फिर सामान लाने के लिए ईवी चाहिए, शॉपिंग के लिए ईवी चाहिए? नो, उसके लिए भी स्कूटर्स है ऑलरेडी. इफ वी एज अ वेरी स्मॉल कंपनी, हमारा छोटा सा कंपनी, हमारे पास बहुत पैसा भी नहीं है, हमारे पास बहुत इन्वेस्टमेंट भी नहीं है, इफ वी स्टार्ट मेकिंग स्मॉल ईवीज एंड स्टार्टिंग सेलिंग देम, कोई हम पे भरोसा नहीं करेगा. नो वन विल बाय आवर व्हीकल्स, नो वन विल बाय आवर प्रोडक्ट्स. सो वी आस्क्ड कि किसको चाहिए. देन वी लैंडेड टू अ प्रॉब्लम कि यार फार्मर्स है जिनको अपने टोमेटोज, पोटैटोज, अनियंस, इन सबको मार्केट तक ले जाने के लिए एक बहुत अच्छी ईवी की ज़रूरत है. घर पे अमेजोन वाला आता है, स्विगी वाला आता है, फ्लिपकार्ट वाला आता है, जोमेटो वाला आता है, उनको गाड़ी चाहिए बहुत सारे पार्सल डिलीवर करने के लिए. एंड देन वी लैंडेड, वी वेंट टू द मार्केट एंड सॉ कि हाँ यार ये गाड़ियाँ ऑलरेडी बना रहे हैं लोग. पीपल आर ऑलरेडी मेकिंग दिस व्हीकल्स बट दीज आर नॉट द ग्रेट व्हीकल्स विच दे एक्चुअली नीड. कुछ ना कुछ जुगाड़ हो रहा है. किसी तो गाड़ी के साथ कुछ तो वेल्डिंग करके, कुछ तो फिटिंग करके वो काम चला रहे हैं. और ये काम चलाऊ नेचर जो है ना, ये बहुत रिस्की होता है. इमेजिन ऐसे किसी गाड़ी से कोई गिर गया, फ्रैक्चर हो गया, महीना भर घर बैठना पड़ेगा. दे विल नॉट बी एबल टू अर्न, दे विल नॉट बी एबल टू फीड देयर फैमिली, एंड दैट्स व्हेन दे विल स्टार्ट फेसिंग द हीट. सो ये कंपनी स्टार्ट करने के बाद हमें एक चैलेंज मिला फ्रॉम आवर कस्टमर कि भाई मेरे पास 45 डेज है, यू हैव टू मेक अ व्हीकल फॉर माई रिक्वायरमेंट्स, और उन 45 डेज के एंड पे अगर मुझे गाड़ी पसंद आई तो ही मैं खरीदूंगा. So for a small company, for a company of 12 people, it was a very difficult decision to make कि यार for जो companies दूसरी कंपनीज 2-3 साल R&D में लगा देती है एक गाड़ी बनाने के लिए, वहीं पे हमको वो एक कस्टमर आके बोल रहा है कि 45 डेज में मुझे प्रोटोटाइप बना के दो, अगर मेरे को पसंद आया तो ही मैं खरीदूंगा, देन एंड ओनली देन आई विल बाय इट. So we three founders decided कि it is a very tough challenge. Let's tell no to the customer and we'll move on. But before saying that no, we thought कि एक बार टीम से बात करना चाहिए. For the people who work with us, people who support us, let's talk to them and tell them कि यार हम नहीं बोलने वाले, don't feel sad about it, we'll get another opportunity also. When we went to the team and said कि यार we are not doing this, everyone was shocked. They were like कि why are you saying no? Why are you saying no to an opportunity? We were confused कि ऐसा क्यों बोल रहे हैं. And then our team told us कि sir वैसे अपने पास ऑर्डर नहीं है. If we take this challenge, if we win and if we give a vehicle prototype in 45 days, we'll have an order. अगर 45 days के end पे हम नहीं कर पाते, if we fail, then even though if we don't have an order, we'll have a product. So there is nothing in this for us to lose. And hearing the passion that team had, we took up the challenge and we started manufacturing this EV. At the 43rd day, जब सिर्फ 2 दिन बाकी थे चैलेंज कंप्लीट होने के लिए, we were halfway there. Like बहुत सारा काम बाकी था. During those last 3 days at production, not a single soul slept. Everyone was awake for 7 hours straight, working, putting in their efforts, trying their best to complete this vehicle. And on the 45th day, 4 a.m. in the morning, we had this vehicle ready. This was the first ready product at REVAMP MOTO, which we were supposed to deliver to our customer in Hyderabad, and we actually managed to make it in 45 days. Like this was an impossible task, but with the right planning, with the right team, with the right passion, we had made a very cute, very small, and a very applicable product, which our customer really liked, and he gave us our first big order of 40,000 vehicles. That's how a small startup, REVAMP MOTO, got our first order. And after this, we had a dream come true moment. We saw an advertisement in the newspaper that Shark Tank is coming to India. बचपन से Shark Tank देखा था. It used to air on Star. And as a kid, like 8-9 standard में, when we used to see that lorry and all, Shark Tank USA वाले लोग fighting, we used to wonder यार अपने startup के लिए, अपने business के लिए ऐसा कौन झगड़ेगा, कब झगड़ेगा. And during that time, हमने डिसाइड किया कि चलो शार्क टैंक का फॉर्म भरते हैं. शार्क टैंक के लिए और एक प्रोडक्ट चाहिए, शार्क टैंक के लिए और एक अच्छा बड़ा प्रोडक्ट चाहिए. तो प्रोडक्ट बनाने से पहले हमने लाइक वी मेड ऑल दिस मॉकअप्स, वी मेड दिस बाइक, वी शोड इट टू ऑल आवर फ्रेंड्स, वी शोड इट टू एवरीवन हु वाज इनटू बिजनेस, और उनसे पूछा कि यार आपको ये प्रोडक्ट पसंद आ रहा है क्या. And that's how our first large-scale product Mitra was born. This is the first day जब ये product बन के ready हुआ था, just before Shark Tank. And this was the first ride. Seeing something that you made एक्चुअली वर्क. बचपन में बनाया होगा ना, मोटर को फैन लगा के घुमा के देखा होगा, मजा आया था. वैसे ही द सेम फीलिंग, बट एज अ ग्रोन अप हमको ये बना के चलाते वक्त आया था. एंड जस्ट आफ्टर दिस शार्क टैंक हैपेंड. वी वर द ओनली स्टार्टअप जो पूरी टीम को शार्क टैंक लेके गया था. एवरी सिंगल मेंबर ऑफ आवर टीम वाज एट शार्क टैंक फॉर द पिच.
हेलो सर, हम रिवैम्प मोटो नासिक का एक ईवी स्टार्टअप पेश कर रहे हैं 2 शानदार ईवी मॉडल.
आप शार्क से क्या चाहते हो?
You guys have already the experience that we don't have in building brand. और आज हम यहाँ 1% इक्विटी के अगेंस्ट 1 करोड़ रुपए मांग रहे हैं.
मैं इसकी गेम ही चेंज कर देता हूँ. मैं आपको 1.2 करोड़ दूंगा.
ओके.
मेरे को 2.5% इक्विटी चाहिए.
1.5% मैं मैच करता हूँ. बोल 2 शार्क के साथ.
1 करोड़ 2%.
आपको बाहर जाके डिस्कस करना है.
Aman and Anupam waiting.
So Ashneer sir was here yesterday. Did you get to see his speech? Yeah. So in the Shark Tank episode, we were one of the very first few pitches. We were on the fifth episode, and during the episode there was a big fight. Everyone was like, "कि हमको invest करना है, we want to put in money," and we were very scared कि actually किसके साथ जाए. So after the Shark Tank, we ended up taking Ashneer sir also. So there are four sharks on our cap table: Aman, Anupam, Ashneer, and Piyush Bansal also. All four are invested, and after Shark Tank, there was no going back. After Shark Tank, we got a lot of inquiries, we got a lot of attention, a lot of publicity. People reached out to us. We have now deployed more than 3,000 vehicles in the market. Every vehicle is fully automatic. You can control every single vehicle from your mobile app right now. Sitting here, I can choose who can drive the vehicle, who cannot drive the vehicle. I can also make them drive at different speeds. I can lock them out of their vehicles if they are misbehaving, if they're not taking care of their vehicles. This is everything that happened just after Shark Tank because we were able to get those resources. So this is Mumbai, and these are our vehicles. Our vehicles are present everywhere in Mumbai now. Like आप मोबाइल का बैटरी देखते हो, मोबाइल के सेटिंग्स देखते हो, ब्राइटनेस देखते हो, सेम वे यू आर एबल टू सी एवरीथिंग अबाउट योर व्हीकल ऑन स्क्रीन. So, what are the lessons that I learned through the journey that I was presenting? There are 4 stages to turn an attraction into a business. The first stage is having the spark. You have to understand what really excites you. What is the spark that gets you going? Second is the curiosity, the exploration. How willing are you to explore that spark? How willing are you to find out what works, what does not work? Third is cultivation. How you are willing to put efforts into cultivating that thought, that spark, into a hobby. And fourth is integration. How are you going to integrate that hobby into what you're doing? I was one of the lucky few people who is getting a chance to work in what he really loves. Not everyone gets that, and not everyone is supposed to be an entrepreneur. But if you have that spark, if you have that hobby, if you have that willingness to do something, I highly encourage exploring it, cultivating it, and see where it takes you. With that, I end the note. Thank you. Any questions?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
So first of all, thank you for the session. It was really inspiring and insightful.
Thank you very much.
अगर कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछेगा इसके बाद तो
That by the time you were in your second year, you were already the HOD at Tobacco Design, which means you definitely managed so much with your degree. So would you suggest us also to start early on and maybe get into projects or internships or some business ideas early on in our degree like you did?
Definitely. One of the most important part of the journey was getting to implement what I'm learning. So theoretical knowledge is good, getting marks in papers is good, but it doesn't really tell you how it translates into the real world. Like most of the time mathematics is taught in the school, but it doesn't really imply how the real world applications are. Similar way in engineering, the theory has to have a real world meaning. You're from which stream?
I'm from engineering physics.
Physics. So whenever someone is teaching you the laws of motion, so whenever someone is teaching you some like how the force and stresses react to each other, you can have a very good idea on paper, but when you put it in practice, you understand what are the limitations, like why things work and why they don't work. A lot of times you might have a different idea of something, a bit different. So that definitely comes from experience. So early on, if you get this experience, it's better.
Okay, and how did you manage the degree and
start small. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Once you get the habit of getting through it, it's as easy as cutting a cheese.
Got it. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
How were you able to fund your works research in the start before you actually started it? How were you able to fund your work?
Again, I started really small. So the 3D printing was the first real project where I had to invest money. So I used to take competitions I used to take parts in competitions like Robo or Robo Race, where the initial investment was very low, and the prize money used to be fueled back into research. So you had a RoboWar yesterday in this college itself, right? So I was part of the RoboWar in 2015. I was also one of the winners of IIT Mumbai in 2018. So taking parts in this competition and fueling that winning money back was my source of income. You can find something else, internships or small gig jobs. I also learned a free software called Blender. It is a 3D design and visualization software, very easy to learn, but very few people know. So I learned that and I started designing small advertisements, animated advertisements for the local companies. That's how I used to earn a secondary income. So small gigs like this, anything that can get the day going, get the day rolling, start with that. Once you get connected to people, you can explore more opportunities. Connections is the key.
Thank you.
Sir, what's the best stream to choose after 10 that will help pursuing the entrepreneurship journey?
See, entrepreneurship, as I said, is not a single decision. If you have a hobby that you really want to cultivate, choose a stream in education that is in line. Suppose if you like robotics, you can choose something in engineering. If you like finance, you can choose something in commerce. You can just start with it. During your education, you can figure it out using doing small gigs. Like you can intern as a finance associate in some firm, or you can intern as a quality engineer. Like small gig jobs you can do where you don't have to put in a lot of effort, but it helps you understand that is your hobbies really something that you want to further pursue. If that is the case, if you find an interest, if it does not bore you at the end of the day, then and only then you can explore entrepreneurship in that.
Sir, next question is that how to create a brand image?
How to create a brand image? It's very it's a very vague question. It's a very vague answer also. Brand image is something that is like particular to the brand. जैसे आप अमूल को देखो, Amul has a cartoon girl and it has created a very light and fun image for itself. कि आपका कोई भी नया इवेंट होता है, ओलंपिक्स हो रहा है, द अमूल कार्टून गर्ल विल बी कमेंटिंग ऑन ओलंपिक्स. कुछ पॉलिटिकल हो रहा है तो शी विल बी कमेंटिंग ऑन दैट. It is never advertising Amul itself. It is just that girl, that mascot, doing its thing, which is catching attention. Fevicol को देख लो. Fevicol never advertises कि Fevicol कितना अच्छा है. It always advertises the funny situation if Fevicol is that good. कि अरे Fevicol इतना अच्छा है कि आप पोस्टर के सामने बैठे आप उठ ही नहीं पाओगे. So these brands have built their existence, their personality with the mascots. You can do the same. If there is a brand, if you want to build something, associate it with a feeling that people can relate to. Something funny, something serious, something very rough, something very light, whatever it may be. But it is a personality that your brand will have and can be communicated through like a mascot or advertisements. So treat it like a human, give it personality, give it traits, give it hobbies, and translate it to the customer with the simplest way possible.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
I want to also be a entrepreneur. I also have to manage my studies. Then I also have to think about my entrepreneurship. Then how I will manage all this.
See, managing time is always a difficult task. If studies is eating up a lot of time, then start small again. Don't put a lot of time into what is a secondary, but be consistent. आज 5 मिनट दे रहे हो, कल भी 5 मिनट definitely दो. परसों भी देना. Consistency is the key. Showing up every day, you will develop that hobby. Have doing that job every day, that hobby will turn into an habit. Doing that every day, that habit will turn into a reflex. It is something that will come internally. It is not something that you will have to think about. You will definitely get more time for it then. So start small but be consistent. You will definitely get somewhere.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello?
My question is, what was the biggest problem you have faced in your whole journey, and how you overcome from it?
So there are two problems I have faced in my journey, which were very big. First is having the right money with you, and second is having the right people with you. So money is, of course, is the fuel for everything. You need money to drive. You need money to build something. So having the right type of money, having the right type of people who will bring that money to you is very important. That was the first problem because I come from a tier 2 city. Our city does not have a lot of resources. Our city does not have a lot of opportunities. So finding money was one of the biggest problem. We overcame that by reaching out to people through social media. So LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever we could find someone who is in line with our thoughts, our vision, we used to reach out to them and they used to support us in one way or the another. Second problem was finding the right type of people. And by right type of people, I mean you must have had friends in your life who either have motivated you or demotivated you entirely. So finding people who will motivate you no matter what the situation is, and they will tell you the truth, they'll tell you the reality. That is a challenge. Like that is a similar challenge when finding the right type of people to build your organization. You need people who will really put in that effort without any second thoughts. So for us, we solved that by reaching out to our juniors. The first hires at Revamp Moto, the very first people who joined our company were our juniors. They were in the fourth year of engineering. We gave them internships. We found out that most of the people who are doing the internship are really valuable assets to us. We gave them good compensation. We gave them part of the company called ESOPs, and we retained them. So finding right people and keeping them with you is the second biggest challenge.
Thank you, sir.
Any more questions?
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Sir, what type of skills should I learn to start my entrepreneurial journey?
What are the skills
What
that
type
you
of
need?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, the only skill I'll say is really important is building consistency every day. Uh, I remember when I was in college and I was part of that competition where we were making F1 vehicles. The only thing that we had zero idea of how to build it. Like, from the scratch to a vehicle is a big journey. What really helped was showing up every day and discussing it internally with our friends. Do it, and that's how we used to land up on solutions. So consistency is a habit that you need to build in whatever you want to do, and that habit will take you very far away.
Thank you, sir.
Are we done?
Any more questions?
So thank you everyone for listening to me. Thank you for being a very good audience.